Hurdles 4 and 5 have been omitted in this race.
Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome to Racing Across America on this Sunday morning. I am Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. As is typical on a Sunday, we'll do a little recap of some of the action from around the country and around the globe, actually, as we will have a little Japan Caup stretch run as well from late last night or early this morning, I guess more properly our time. And it had some European entrants, so there was some interest certainly in the Japan Caup yesterday. We'll also take a look at some Aqueduct action, some Churchill action, some horses worth taking a look at. There was also a little stake down at Gulfstream and one at Del Mar as well, worth taking a look at, and we'll preview some action as well. Speaking of preview, I do want to remind you, our friends at Finger Lakes, last 3 days of racing at Finger Lakes coming up. And if you go over to our tip sheet page, just as a reminder, throughout the season on the Finger Lakes website, you can pull up free PPs, and I put a link to them on our tip sheet page as well. So not only do you get the Finger Lakes selection sheets, along with plenty of other selections from tracks around the world as well. But you can link to the free PPs for the Finger Lakes for, again, the last 3 days of the meet coming up. So make sure you jump in and enjoy some Finger Lakes action. I know we have plenty of fans of Finger Lakes racing, and so make sure you take advantage of the last 3 days coming up this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Today, mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six down at Gulfstream. Keep that in mind. I believe we also have a Pick Six carryover in New York. Sequence yesterday was interesting. Yeah, $26,000 carryover in New York, if that interests you, but a mandatory down at Gulfstream as well in the Rainbow. All right, let's jump in. And as I said, the Japan Caup last night about 1 a.m. I know America's Day at the Races was doing a late night / early morning broadcast that was going to show the Japan Caup, 1 a.m. kickoff there. So it was a late night for international racing fans, and there was international interest because the article I read yesterday, I believe, said no foreign horse had won it since Japan Caup since 2005. There were some European entrants of interest, though. The top of those probably Auguste Rodin, who won the Breeders' Cup Turf last year and elected to skip this year to head to the Japan Caup for the last race of his career. So Auguste Rodin, and then John Stewart and Resolute Racing brought over Goliath from Europe, who had won the couple of races coming in, one at Ascot, one at Longchamp. So he was coming in good form. Christophe Soumillon on board. Again, interesting foreign participation, but it winds up to be the hometown team getting it done with the very talented Duduce. Going to make a late run here on the outside. You see coming in that red cap. And it's going to be kind of a ding-dong battle here. Gets up to the front runner, and then there's a horse coming on the inside as well. But under the wire, it will be Duduce under veteran Japanese jockey Yutaka Taki. He gets it done. And then it's a dead heat for second. Shin Emperor and Dereza, dead heat under the wire for the second position. So Deuce getting it done. This was start number 8 in the career, win number 5. So a solid career so far. And Auguste Rodin. I'm just looking the lifetime past performance. I am revising my lifetime because I think the lifetime and the PPs I have is just really the last couple of seasons. So I think there is I think perhaps more to that career than I stated, but a very talented Japanese runner, certainly. And Yutaka Taki, as I said, if you follow international racing or have for a while on the Japanese side of things, he has been a guy for a number of decades now that has been at the top of, the jockeys you look to and respect in Japan. And he's traveled around the world and raced here in the past, but he was on board. The winner, again, second and third, a dead heat for second. And of the Euros, Goliath performed the best and could do no better than sixth. Auguste Rodin, a little bit disappointing in the last start of the career, winds up running eighth in there. So there was your Japan Caup from last night. As again, we go another year waiting for a foreign entrant to get it done, and we're approaching 20 years since that happened. And a lot of years they don't participate. But the article I read, they have added a bonus. I don't know if it was brand new this year, but there are a number of races that if you have that race on your resume or another race or whatnot, you get some bonus money. And the article I read yesterday, I believe, said one of the foreign entrants, had they won, they might walk away with $6.3 million in bonus money and purse money out of the race. So clearly the Japanese are trying to, enhance the foreign participation, which probably is a great idea for them because it seemed like with those Euro runners in there was maybe a little more interest this year, certainly in the United States, with Auguste Rodin having been a Breeders' Cup winner, John Stewart being a prominent owner now. There was a little more interest, I would think, than normal. And I haven't seen handle numbers or anything, but I would have to think that probably played into the handle yesterday as well. All right, let's take a look at some racing yesterday on this side of the Pacific Ocean. Let's go to Aqueduct yesterday. And there were a couple of New York Stallion Series races that highlighted the card down at Aqueduct. I will say I did not have the winner of the seventh race New York Stallion Series for the Fillies and Mayors going 7 furlongs. I liked Cali Magic, the number 3 horse. I am going to do no better than fourth. I had it 3, 7, 6. Mine wind up running 4th, 5th, and 6th in the field of 6 as the 3 longest shots on the board fill out the trifecta, with the 8-1 second longest price getting it done. Number 1, Golden Rocket, and gets it done fairly easily, 3.5 lengths, 2 lengths from second to third as Sunday Girl runs second, Lisa's Vision third. Again, it was 8-1 over 4-1 over 9-1. The 3 longer prices in the 6-horse field kind of mix it up. Hence, again, that picks a carryover down in New York. This certainly had to help that, you would think, with Golden Rocket getting it done at $18.60. And with this win, not enough, but is approaching $500,000 in earnings for the 5-year-old mare. The 6th win in the 27th career start, 10 more finishes, either second or third, 5 seconds, 5 thirds. So pretty good little career for Golden Rocket. Yesterday, as I say, I did not use it. Horse was claimed 2 back, went into the barn of Ilkay Cantamachi and ran 4th in the Iroquois last time. Gets it done. So it turns out to be kind of a clever claim. Claimed the horse for $45K, and they pulled down the better part of $125,000 yesterday in the second start off the claim. Manny Franco was on board, and Manny had a very good day. Let me see if I can pull that up quickly. I believe it was 5 wins for Manny, who is on was on a little bit of a roll, obviously, yesterday. Um, and I'm just trying to pull up the Equibase stats here, and, and I am not quickly pulling up. So I don't want to hesitate. Maybe I'll look closer in the commercial if I don't get it here. Yeah, he's not listed. Oh, okay. I might have had the wrong category. There we go. So again, nice day for Manny yesterday as he he had 6 rides yesterday, won with 5 of them. So big day for Manny Franco yesterday, and he was on board again. Golden Rocket, the winner of the 7th race, the New York Stallion Series, and it was named. I'm not reading. Oh, maybe it says. It doesn't say on the chart either. These New York Stallion Series races are always named, but they don't put it on the PPs in the racing form, and it's not on the chart either. I know, like the Cab Callaway, I think is one of them sometime during the year, but they don't, for unknown reasons, don't put the actual name on. So all I can do is say, since it's 2 Stallion Series races, all I can do is say 7th race and then the 8th race. Also, New York Stallion Series, this one for 3-year-olds and up, going 7th in the 8th. I kind of kicked myself here. I think Andy Serling had it, and David Aragona tweeted out somebody, one of his time form guys, I think, had a Chicho Bella gets it done. Not that I necessarily would have put this horse on top, but I probably should have been a little more active in using the horse in the mix. I did not. And the horse was 20-1 as the second longest price on the board and gets it done by a neck. Chicho Bella, number 4. General Banker, number 8, runs second. BD Saints, the number 2, runs third. When I handicapped the race yesterday, I said BD Saints was interesting. I didn't use that one either, but it's 17-1, a decent little third to complete the try at a price. But Chicho Bella, again, I left the horse out, and last time in the Empire Classic was well beaten, but had some trouble in there. The start just before was good enough to maybe consider the horse. Had been in open company over at Monmouth in that start and won, so was coming in against the New York sired horses yesterday. Jose Lescano on board, trainer Derek Ryan, and again, $43.60. Again, playing into that pick 6 carryover situation in New York for this afternoon. But as I say, the winner in the 7th, I wasn't enamored with at all. But Chicho Bella, I actually had some check marks and some notes next to, and just didn't make my mix. With Doc Sullivan, did Doc Sullivan go off as the favorite? Yeah, Doc Sullivan went off as the favorite. I will say I was kind of correct there. I had Doc Sullivan down in the 4th slot. Horse was coming out of the Pennsylvania Derby, where a well-beaten 6th. But before that had been in some New York bred stakes and doing very well. What used to be the old Big Apple Triple was in the Albany at Saratoga, the New York Derby, and the Mike Lee. Won the Mike Lee, second in the other 2. But as is evidenced by the Big Apple Triple races and the Pennsylvania Derby, this is a 3-year-old. So had been off since the Pennsylvania Derby, the end of September. Not a huge layoff, but this was going to be the first time against older horses, and so I was a little skeptical in there. That said, I kind of liked Antonio Venice, who was also a 3-year-old trying older for the first time and hadn't been seen in a while. But I thought, what, I'll take a little shot. That one had a little trouble at the start and then went out and dueled and faded. So of the 2 3-year-olds, I kind of picked the wrong one, although neither one of them really stepped up to the plate facing older. As again, Chicho Bella, as a 5-year-old, gets it done at a big price in the 2nd New York Stallion Series yesterday down in New York. All right, let's move over to Churchill. Nice stakes action down there yesterday. And this one, I was in, with OTB Live, and I said this is going to be interesting to watch and interesting to keep track of if my top pick gets it done, and she did. The Chaluki was for fillies and mares going a mile. Too Sharp, nice runner for Phil Bauer, had broken the maiden up at Saratoga, part of Phil Bauer's big Saratoga, and just missed in the Prioress in only the third career start beyond Brightwork. Subsequently wins an allowance at Keeneland. And look at this victory yesterday at Churchill in the Chaluki. Only her fifth career start. Chart margin is just over 5 lengths. 22 and change, 44 and change, and she's cutting these fractions. 109 and change, 121 and change, 134 and change. A solid effort at a short price, $3.94. Junior Alvarado in town for the ride. I guess when you have a horse like this, and it's a grade 3 race also with a nice purse, but you show up because you might have a future as well with a potential kind of star. Phil Bauer in the winner's circle afterwards said, man, next year maybe we'll stretch out a little, because so far it's been all one turn. The first 4 starts of the career, 6 furlongs, 6.5, 6, 6.5. They stretched to a mile yesterday, but at Churchill, that's one turn. And Phil said, yeah, we might, try longer next year. But he also noted they're not done this year. They're going to head to the La Brea out in Southern California. Again, at the end of the year, you have the nice 3-year-old races out at Santa Anita or end of the year kind of 3-year-old competition. And Too Sharp will go to the La Brea on the ladies' side of things out there. She'll be fun to watch. Again, Royal Spa runs second there for Rudy Brissett. That's a nice little runner as well. And Taxed ran third. Both good horses. It was a nice little field, but it was kind of the chance to maybe be a little bit of a coming out party for Too Sharp. I mean, she looked good in the Prioress, her prior stakes try, running close-up second to the talented Brightwork, but the victory yesterday in the grade 3 kind of touted her as certainly one to keep our eyes on as the calendar turns next year as a 4-year-old, and it'll be interesting to see if they do stretch her out. But there will be another chance this year in the La Brea a little bit later on out in Southern California. Churchill also yesterday in the 10th race had the Commonwealth Turf. Again, one of those nice little turf races that happen all year long at all the different venues. 3-year-olds on the grass, 8.5 furlongs. I put Laganos at the bottom of my mix, but Flavian Prat in town for the ride. That had to attract some attention. It was Steve Asmussen and Prat combining. Laganos is going to be the number 7 horse here and went off as the third choice. Hershey, the number 8, was the favorite. I had that one just underneath, and Hershey winds up running 6th in the field of 8. Laganos is the number 7. Number 9, Evade, who I thought was playable, is going to wind up just coming up a little bit short, 3/4 of a length. And number 4, Exarban Derby, runs third in here at 16-1. But Laganos gets it done in career start number 13. It was win number 3, couple of seconds, 3/3. Over $500,000 going into yesterday. It was a $300,000 purse. So you wind up with another almost a couple $100,000. Yeah, you're approaching $750,000 for Laganos. Did not have a win this year. Talented runner, obviously, to put that kind of money in the bank. But this year had 9 starts and no wins, so managed to break through yesterday, again, as the third choice. So you got $9.12 for Laganos in the Commonwealth Turf down at Churchill. All right, also wanted to take a look at a couple of other out-of-town stakes that may produce runners to keep our eyes on going forward. Gulfstream yesterday, they ran the juvenile sprint, as the name would suggest. You have the 2-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. The favorite at 1-2 was Big Paradise. Irod Ortiz. And Irod was on Way to Barrio on Friday. And I said on Friday, I wonder if he's made the move already. It seems a little early to make the move. Not crazy early, but And then I speculated maybe he was just in town to get the ride on way to Barrio, but he backed it up on Saturday. So Irad may have made the move down to Florida for the season and enjoying the nicer weather down there. But he enjoyed certainly the result of the juvenile sprint. Big Paradise, Irad Ortiz on board for David Fox, going to be the number 5 horse here. Going to have a fairly easy victory at 1-2. At 9-1, Noble and Magical second. Nothing Subtle runs third as the long shot at 15-1. But as the shortest price in the field, it is Big Paradise getting it done. Start number 3, win number 2. Won the debut effort at Gulfstream back in September, and then came back in a stakes race and ran 4th, pretty well beaten 4th. But again, now comes back, 3rd start of the career, and having shown some ability, certainly in the debut effort. Betting Public landed there and does get a stakes victory yesterday. So again, as I said, some horses maybe to watch going forward. We'll see if Big Paradise plays out that way. And it's one of those, that the place horse, Noble and Magical, was making a little ground in the stretch. And it's that time of year and that type of situation on the resume and whatnot where you wonder by the big beast, breeding-wise, what's going to be the future for Big Paradise. And we say it about this time every year as well. You have a horse, talented sprinter, 2-year-old. It's tough not to, at some point, take your shot and stretch out. We will see how that plays out for Big Paradise. But clearly they have a talented horse and a talented sprinter. But it'll be interesting to see if they stay in that direction. The time yesterday, 118. Hit the 6 furlongs in 111, 118 and change. So, wasn't blazing fast, but has shown some ability sprinting. Now a stakes winner sprinting, and we'll see what the game plan is going forward for that one. Out in Southern California, Del Mar yesterday, the native diver for older horses, grade 3 event, a mile and an eighth. And Skinner gets it done. The short price, the favorite at 6-5 was Ultra Power, the number 2 horse, going to disappoint and run 4th in here. But as the 3rd choice in the wagering, Skinner gets it done. John Sheriff's trainee that had shown promise throughout the career, just had not really been able to put it together to validate that. This was only the 2nd start of the year. Ended last year in this very race, running 2nd. Then came back beginning of the month, 1st of November here at Del Mar, and ran 2nd against Optional Allowance Company. And then comes back and wins the stakes race in the 2nd start back as a 4-year-old. So he'll be interesting. As I say, there was some promise early in the career. There was a little promise on the 3-year-old side of things. Last year ran 3rd in the Santa Anita Derby, ran 2nd in the Los Al Derby. They tried the Pacific Classic. Again, ran in this race last year as well. But, the 2nd in the Santa Anita Derby, had run 3rd in the San Felipe. Had shown some ability and had some promise, just hadn't quite lived up to it. I don't know, how strong a field of older horses that was yesterday, so I'm not sure what to make of it exactly. But he becomes interesting, as a 4-year-old now becoming a 5-year-old in a few weeks. Interesting to see if he does play out, at least out in Southern California, on the older side of things. Again, hadn't lived up to the promise, but maybe, had that break from late last year until late this year. Maybe has come back as an even better horse now and gets to validate what was that early promise. All right, we'll take a break. But when we come back, we'll do some news and notes. Also, a little preview tomorrow. There's some nice action at Mahoning Valley. It's their big day of the year. The Steel City Sprint in there. So we'll take a look at some of that action at Mahoning and preview, and maybe get you thinking about a little play here or there tomorrow out in that direction. All of that when Racing Across America continues. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Sunday morning. I'm just trying to pull up our stats here because I did mention Manny Franco on a little bit of a roll yesterday, obviously with 5 wins. And I wanted to bring up, here we go, Luis Saez down at Churchill is having a spectacular meet. And I just pulled up the season results. Churchill will wind up next week, December 1st. So a little over, a week of action for them still to go. But Luis Saez, 34 wins, sitting number 1. Tyler Gaffalione, 15. So he's 19 wins ahead with a week to go. Tyler Gaffalione, unfortunately, has been on the sidelines the past few days. A week ago yesterday, fell off his horse. There was some spill and went to the hospital complaining of some pain, I think back and hip maybe. They checked. There was nothing, just kind of beat up. He took off Wednesday, he took off Sunday, and he took off Wednesday. Came back on Thursday. He had 1 or 2 rides and then took off the rest of the day. That was Thursday. He's been off Friday. He was off yesterday. We'll see when he comes back. Hope for the best. But obviously when he came back on Thursday, he just wasn't feeling 100%. And next weekend at Churchill, big stakes day, so maybe he wants to, just make sure he's 100% leading into that. But, so we wish the best for Tyler Gaffalione. But Luis Saez, solid down at Churchill with 34 wins versus 15 for the second place Tyler Gaffalione. So, again, congratulations to Luis Saez with that performance down there at this late fall meet. All right, as mentioned, nice stakes day tomorrow at Mahoning. Plenty of stakes action, but they have some rich stakes in there that are bringing in some, notables. In the 8th race, it's the Mahoning Valley Distaff, $100,000 for, as the Distaff name indicates, the ladies going 6. Mighty Madison comes in for Phil Bauer. Last seen winning an optional claimer at Keeneland. That horse clearly will take some action. So that's a nice little stakes race. Field of 10 in there. Disco Ebo for Butch Reed comes in from Parks. So again, Luis Saez is on board. Miss Arlington coming in from Churchill. So the 8th race, a nice field of 10 listed in the Distaff. The Cheryl White Memorial, couple $100,000 up for grabs there. 3-year-old fillies going 6. Tricky Temper is in here for Jeremiah Englehart. Nice little New York bred runner. Helena's Forte for Phil Bauer comes in off a win at Churchill most recently, but a nice stakes record for her underneath. Benedetta for Steve Asmussen, Jose Ortiz on board off a couple of wins at Churchill most recently. So again, field of 10 in the Cheryl White Memorial. That should be, a fun race with notable names from, New York racing and Churchill and whatnot. And as you would expect on the big race days at some of these smaller tracks, when, it's the old Jerry Maguire, show me the money. They put up the right amount of money, and the connections all come in. And the money that is getting offered is highlighted by the Steel Valley Sprint, the 10th at Mahoning tomorrow. 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs, $300 up for grabs. Field of 11, and Bookham Dano is in here. Derek Ryan, Irad Ortiz scheduled to ride. But I read on Twitter maybe, and it might have been David Aragona, so I would assume there was some good info there. I didn't see a follow-up to make it official. But whoever wrote it said they're likely to scratch and head for the Cigar Mile. So that may be the situation with Bookham Dano. We shall see in that situation how it works out. But I pulled up a little replay of a race in April at Keeneland, the Lafayette. And the winner here will be Glengarry under Luis Saez, and Luis Saez is back on aboard tomorrow. But again, this is April. Nice win over 3 lengths for number 6, Glengarry. He comes back tomorrow, very lightly raced. This is a horse with only 5 starts, but 4 wins, and this was one of them. Stakes race at Keeneland in the spring. Big question mark for me is fitness off the layoff, but been working down at Oaklawn most recently, and they come up for this if he shows up, and Luis Saez in for the ride. So Glengarry is going to be very interesting. Maximum Meridius for Butch Reed comes in off a win at Parks most recently, has some stakes performances underneath. World record for Rudy Brissett off a win at Keeneland in the most recent start, certain to take some action. Flavian Prat will be in town, scheduled to be in town to ride world record. Epic Ride coming off a try in the Perryville most recently with a 97 buyer, ran third, but did have a 97 buyer. And big numbers for Valentine Candy for Steve Asmussen, 99, 87, 102, 3 back for that one, but comes out of that 99 buyer victory at Churchill most recently. And Valentine Candy for Asmussen will be written by Jose Ortiz. So again, those are 3 of the stakes. Those are the 3 rich stakes, but there's an undercard of stakes action as well at Mahoning tomorrow. So keep that in mind if you're looking for a little Monday afternoon action, Mahoning Valley with the Steel Valley Sprint and other stakes as well. Wanted to just hit on some news. Again, looks like, the NYRA pregame will start shortly. It looks like they're firing up. But once again, mentioned it yesterday. I'll just mention it again today. If you like Maryland racing, Laurel is on the sidelines today. They canceled on Friday. There was a horse that broke down in the morning. As they got right up close to post time, the jocks were kind of concerned about the surface on Friday. They wound up canceling. Management kind of had their track people go look, and they feel the track's okay. The jocks were a little unsure, and so management said, can we get a HISA track consultant to maybe come in and confirm everything is okay? I have not heard the upside of that one way or the other, but they are planning to race this coming week. They're one of the tracks that will be running on Thanksgiving, so we'll see how it shakes out in Maryland. But again, if you're a Maryland player, no Laurel this weekend. Sophia Vivis, it was fun. When we were up at Woodbine just a few weeks ago, she won a stakes race on Patches O'Houlihan. I had a chance to grab her right after the race and get some comments, and we drop those in on Sunday morning. You might have seen. I've never had talked to her before. It was kind of fun. We talked, and I was just kind of introducing myself and whatnot. Hey, we're up at Saratoga doing things in the morning up there. And oh yeah, I've probably gone right by her. She said she has in previous summers been an exercise rider for Mark Cassie, and Mark uses her now a lot up at Woodbine. She's had a good Woodbine season, but the game plan is she was the Sovereign Award-winning apprentice, and I think she was also she was a finalist for the Eclipse Award as apprentice as well. So she's done very well up at Woodbine. But she came down and rode in New York the other day, just maybe an experiment, but won down in New York. Had a couple of mounts, one on one of them, and she's planning to ride the winter down here in New York when the Woodbine season ends. So she might be a fun addition to the jockey colony in New York. Speaking of Woodbine and jockeys, Thursday or Friday, there was a spill at Woodbine. And it was one of those kind of chain reaction things. A number of horses went down and jockeys went down. And some of the jocks went to the hospital. And there have been updates, and it seems like they were all kind of knocked up pretty well with, some broken bones and whatnot. So we wish the best for the jocks. They're all on the mend, as it were, it seemed like, in the follow-ups. But they did wind up, as I say, getting some injuries that will keep them away from the racetrack, at least for a while. So, again, wish for the best for everybody. But some of them did wind up, as they say, they'll take a little time off before they come back. And, again, Woodbine has been a little bit snake bitten over the past few weeks with that situation. So we hope over the next couple of weeks as they wind down their meet, that all works out well. And I'll also note, it was kind of interesting, Equibase now has posted a glossary of terms for their charts. If you go to the charts page now, there's a little link that you can click on, and I think they're trying to standardize things because the chart callers, they all bring their own personal perspective to it. And so sometimes the wording that one chart caller feels means this doesn't necessarily translate over to the chart for another track. And so they're kind of trying to standardize how the chart callers describe certain things in a race. So we'll see, an interesting concept. And as I say, if you go to the charts, there's a clickable link that brings up the glossary if you'd like to take a look and get an idea. And just finally, Cartier Awards the other day, City of Troy, Europe's Horse of the Year. Didn't work out in the Breeders' Cup necessarily, but he had a great campaign. And City of Troy, Cartier Award winner for Europe's Horse of the Year. And again, Cartier Awards, kind of the European equivalent to the Eclipse Awards. So City of Troy gets the top prize. All right, they do have the graphic up. That coming up next, we'll be talking horses down in New York, so we'll send it down in that direction so you can watch the pregame for Aqueduct. Again, pick six carryover at Aqueduct today. Mandatory pay Rainbow at Gulfstream, so keep that in mind for this afternoon as well. I'll be back in a little over an hour, OTB Live, for a Sunday afternoon. I'll take a look at Aqueduct in Churchill, where, again, Churchill, Luis Saez on fire. We'll see if Manny Franco can keep it rolling in New York after the 5-win day yesterday. Congratulations to him. And, again, a reminder that Finger Lakes has the final week coming up, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the final week at Finger Lakes. And if you go to our website, click on the tip sheets page, you can pull up the free PPs for Finger Lakes for the next few days. So keep that in mind as well. And don't forget, again, Mahoning Valley tomorrow with the nice stakes day. I will also give you a reminder that today here at the Clubhouse Racebook, Football Sunday. Come on down, watch all the action, football-wise and racing-wise, every Sunday throughout the season, right here, Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Seth Merrow wrapping it up for Sunday morning racing across America. But again, back in about an hour or so with OTB Live for Sunday afternoon. See you then.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.